Let's move on to Zero Base One. Zero Base One boy group debuted this year, 2023, on a reality show called Boys Planet. There's 9 members, and their age ranges are from 16 to 25. So I thought that they were young, and then I realized, no, they're actually like pretty mixed. There's a 9-year gap. This is their first comeback. This is the first comeback of this group. I was lucky enough to see them at KCON, where the fan base was huge for Zero Base One. I was just kind of like, oh, I like that one song, but I know nothing about them. They killed it at KCON. I'm definitely a fan. Went back and listened to their album over and over again. So I was kind of highly anticipating this one too. Very excited about their first comeback. The EP is called Melting Point. They gave us 5 songs. The single is Crush. Okay, I'm going to be real with you guys. Upon first listen, I wasn't as excited about the chorus in this one. Now I've listened to it a whole bunch the past couple days. This works. This works. I think the verses work better than the chorus for me on this one. They have that nice drum and bass sound on the verses. They really are following kind of the 5th generation drum and bass New Jeans vibe and sound. That's what it reminds me of when I hear them. And I'm not mad at that. I love New Jeans. I love that feel. I felt a little bit of that in the verses. I have to say, Eugen sounds so good on the Calling Me part. Really clear vocals from him. Really nice vocals. I also love Jung Hao's voice on the chorus. Oh, and then Ji Wong stood out to me as well. I thought he had some really nice moments in this song. Those 3 voices stand out to me the most in this group. Those are my 3 standout vocalists in ZB1. The pre-chorus has a nice build here. The pre-chorus has a nice build. I will say I'm not sure how strong the rappers are yet in this group. Nothing stood out to me or jumped out to me. So the rap parts I felt like weren't as strong as the vocalists. Some songs don't need rap, and that's also why I feel that way sometimes, especially with these younger groups who don't have established rappers, but maybe cast a singer and put them into the rapper role as they often do with lower voices and lower tones. Some songs are just great pop songs and you don't need a rap verse, or a little rap, line. But I understand they want everyone to get lines. I think that's a wonderful thing about K-pop. It's just that the rap parts didn't necessarily work as well for me in this specific song. The reason why I think I didn't love this song to begin with, the chorus is a little bit different. It's this really nice melody and cool sounding song. And then when you get to the chorus, the sound changes and it's very aggressive. And it reminds me more of an NCT or specifically Gravity. It's more their style in the chorus. The second half drops to something that feels more familiar with the rest of the song, but the chorus to me took a little bit to get used to. So that's why my initial thoughts were like, I don't know about this one. Again, I've listened to it a ton and now I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good song. But upon first listen, it took me back for a second. I was like, not quite sure. No, this is a good song. And their bridge is great. This group has good bridges. I loved it. I thought the bridge was great. I did like most of the elements of this song. I will say there was one song on the album that I liked more, that has just stuck with me more. And then when I listened to the album, I thought, is this the single? Is this the title track? And it wasn't. So I'm not sure if it's my favorite or not. I think it will grow on me. In Bloom grew on me very quickly, and it's one of my favorite songs of the year. So this is good. Let's move on to the music video. I love the concept. I like this knight in shining armor thing. Yes, perfect. Perfect. No notes on the concept. It works. They executed it well. There's some really interesting transitions. Really cool stuff here. The editing of this music video, top tier. I love the frozen moments, the floating stuff. That's not new. K-pop fans have seen it before, but it's really well done in this music video. Choreography, great. You can't get a real sense of the choreography sometimes in music videos, but watching them on the comeback shows and now the weekly shows, and now we have performance videos, this is great choreography. Really great choreo. They work very well together as a team. Some interesting formations. I love the choreography. I will say in the music video, a few members stood out to me. I think Hanbin is very strong when he's at center. He draws your focus and he's such a confident performer. I loved watching him. But to me, the member that stood out the most is How. How has been kind of sneaking up on me when I look at their Insta. I'm always like, wait, who's that? But again, I wasn't a massive stan. So I haven't been totally choosing biases or strongly having opinions. One member stood out to me when I saw them live at KCON, and I kind of decided he was my bias. That has all changed. In this music video, every time Hal is on screen, he's a star. Like this dude, he reminds me so much of how I felt when I first watched In Hypen and when I first saw Heesung. I think Heesung is a silent assassin. He doesn't even have to try, and he draws so much focus and he has so much talent. That's what Hal reminds me of. My eyes going to him. And there's a lot of interesting, handsome, talented men in this group. But he's the one that I kept being like, wait, who's that? I was screaming during the music video. Who is that? Who is that? Yeah, he's a superstar. This music video looks big budget. I think it helps them. They all look great. It's a cool concept. Good choreography. I love this group. I'm a fan of Zero Base One. I think the fandom's name is Zeroses, whatever it is. I am one. I like this group. They bring a really fresh, interesting perspective. I want to talk about the rest of the EP because they gave us 5 songs. I liked every song. I'm going to be honest. They're all good. But the ones that stood out to me the most, Melting Point, Take My Hand, and Kid Zone. Okay, Melting Point is so dreamy and hypnotic. Those opening notes, that what happened, it's simple, but it has stuck in my head not for the past couple days. Like it's really, really pretty. There's definitely a New Jeans vibe in the chorus here. I love that drum and bass sound. I talked about it with the single. I like this sound, this groove. It works for me. But it's interesting because like I'm just going to be very, very honest because there's a lot of music that I listened to and took notes on this week. Of everything I listened to, the song I went back to the most was Melting Point by ZB1. I love this song. It's so like pleasant and happy and kind of hopeful and floating, but not low energy. The energy's there. This is the one that I thought would have been an interesting single. And when I listened to the album, I thought, is this the single? This is a really cool song. Crush works. Crush works. They don't need to change it. But Melting Point to me, this is the song I've come back to all week. Take My Hand. You have some interesting instrumentation here. A lot of percussion elements are happening. There's a lot happening, but the production's really well done. So it sounds very smooth and seamless. If you focus in, it's like, whoa, what is that? Oh my God, they did that. There's a lot of instruments coming in and out of this one, but I like it. I think it really works. The chorus feels hopeful and happy. Great. And then Kid Zone. Kid Zone, I mean, the name is like a little weird, but the bass line is cool in this one. It reminds me a little bit of Pumped Up Kicks from Foster the People. If you're familiar with that song, there's something here in this bass line that was a little bit reminiscent for me. It has a groove. The name's a little weird, but it's about staying young forever. You know, they say they're going to stay young and they'll be kids forever, child forever. It's kind of again it's about youth. It's about youth. And that's the feeling I get when I listen to this group in the best way. Not juvenile, but youthful and like effervescent, happy, hopeful. I like this group. I like what they're doing. Some of this stuff, it reminds me of early T by T. There's just a really nice, interesting sound here. So I'm all for it. I'm totally in to Zero Base One. This was a great first comeback. I love this. And I'm excited for them and I'm excited to watch them. I've been thinking a lot about my favorite groups not being as active these days. I was thinking, well, I started my new show and I'm not going to be able to review Monster X and NCT 127. They're going to start enlisting soon. And, all of these groups, obviously BTS, but like what's so exciting is I have Zero Base One. I have Rise, obviously Stray Kids. I have so many amazing groups to talk about and watch them grow. K-pop never stops, which can be sad, but also exciting because right when you're heartbroken about someone, there's 10 other groups that are going to come in and distract you until Hyungwon gets back from the military. Yes, I'm talking about Hyungwon. This episode will come out Friday. I don't even want to think about it. I don't know why I brought it up. But again, the silver lining, there's a lot of great young groups. We know the girls have been killing it. On the girls' side, you have amazing groups, but the boys' side have great groups. There's even more I want to talk about. I'm looking forward to reviewing. I love ZB1. ZB1's amazing. Before I get to my rankings, let's talk biases. It's obvious there's been a massive bias change, but I will defend myself. I didn't have a strong bias in this group. Guvin stood out to me the most in the brief time I saw them at KCON and watched music videos. But I wasn't completely sold because I hadn't really dove into this group yet. Now that I have, it's obvious. Jang Ho is my bias. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's a Chinese member. My pronunciation is always horrible, whether it's Korean or Chinese, but I'm trying, and I'm pretty sure it's Jang Hao. He's my bias by far. Records are all over the place. Hanbin stood out to me. I love Jiwon. Yujin's voice, he's great. I really, really like him. And I still like my original bias. He's so cute. He looked great in this comeback. He's very tall. But this dude's a superstar. I thought he was so captivating. And vocally, I kept looking up, who is that singing this part? Because that's what I do. I listen before I watch anything. I listen to the whole album. I really dive into lyrics, figure out who's singing what and why, I'm excited about it. And I kept being like, oh my God, it's him. And then when I watched the music video and I was screaming, who is that? I was like, oh, this is meant to be. This is my bias. It's time for my rankings from Zero Base One's first comeback, Melting Point EP, 5 songs from least favorite to favorite. But I'm going to be real. I loved this project. I don't really have a least favorite. So here we go. Number 5, Good Night. It's a really pretty ending song. Number 4, Take My Hand. Number 3, Kid Zone. Number 2 was Crush, the single, which means my number 1 song, the song I listened to most this week, it's Melting Point. I love, love, love that song. Great comeback. They should be very proud. I'm sure the fans are proud. I'm a fan of this group now. They're killing it. I can't wait for what's next, but first I'm going to enjoy this comeback. I feel like I'm going to be listening to these songs a lot this month. Yeah, congratulations to Zero Base One. And I will say at KCON, they were really good. Their live performance was fantastic. They were one of my favorites, and they stood out over the weekend. So yeah, we've got some superstars on our hands.